there's no rule of law that the centre or the state must abide by the recommendations given by the investigative agency, in this case the CBI or the Sessions Court where the case was heard. However, usually what is seen as a norm, the centre or the state doesn't quite go against the recommendation of the investigative agency or the Sessions Court. In this case, it did. I want to cut across right now because you've heard a lot of comments in all of this. Very little has come from politicians, from political parties. We've seen the Congress, we've also seen the Shiv Sena speak up about it. But in Gujarat, where parties like the Bharatiya Janata Party, understandably so, because this relates directly to the party in the government in Gujarat and at the centre, but even a player which is trying to, fight this election, the Aam Aadmi Party is completely silent. The Congress, yes, is speaking. The Shiv Sena also speaking, though Shiv Sena doesn't quite have much skin in the game. Joining me right now is Priyanka Chaturvedi, Rajya Sabha MP, Shiv Sena. Ms. Chaturvedi, appreciate you joining us. Your party has been one of the few very vocal. We've heard Uddhav Thackeray criticize the government for allowing the premature remission of these 11 convicts. What is your opinion in the context of both the investigative agency, CBI, and the Sessions Court opposing premature remission? Yet in 2 weeks' time, the centre and the Gujarat government goes ahead and approves remission.
I think calling it shameful would be too mild a word to use for something as unfortunate as this. Something which is a crime which has been proven in the courts of law. People who have been convicted of those crimes have been given a good behavior certificate, not from anyone else but the Home Ministry of India. What does it tell the women of this country? That you can continue to fight for justice, but do not expect justice from your law keepers. It is extremely shameful, extremely unfortunate, and extremely condemnable. The stance that has been taken by the Home Ministry, despite the CBI Special Court saying that, CBI and the Special Court both saying that they should not be releasing these convicted criminals. And as far as, this entire case is concerned, it was not just about rape, it was about a murder of a 3-year-old child.
The government's contention in all of this, Ms. Chaturvedi, and there's nothing quite wrong with what the government also says. Prahlad Joshi said it today. The government says that this is as per the law of the land. Yes, the CBI or the Sessions Court might have not approved of remission, premature remission, but it's not bearing on the government to follow the recommendations of the CBI or the Sessions Court. It's as per law that this premature remission was given, and the government did nothing wrong, is what the government says.
Law allows remission, but there's a very clear clause which says any heinous crime that the person is convicted of, especially rape crimes, should not get this kind of a pardon or remission. They should not even be considered. And if you look at what the special judge has spoken on this particular issue, he categorically states that these are people convicted of some heinous crimes, serious crimes, and they do not deserve a pardon. In spite and despite of that, getting a good behavior certificate from the Home Ministry continues to defy all logic and actually lets down the women of this country. That someone who fought this brave battle, who ensured that these people were convicted of the crimes that they had committed, today sits in fear while these people are felicitated when they step out of jails, and today they are hiding and are comfortably sitting in their homes, while the woman who has gone through this painful episode, who has seen her own child being killed by these murderers, today having to live in fear. What society are we creating? We're not even creating a just society for women, and we're rubbing it in the face of women today that any kind of crime can be done on you. We will, 10 years down the line, even if they're convicted for crimes such as these, heinous crimes such as these, we're going to let them go if they have shown exemplary or some kind of good behavior. I don't know how Home Ministry judged that as well.
Ms. Chaturvedi, as much as I hate making issues about rape a gender issue, but somewhere down the line this question also needs to be asked, because where women politicians or leaders are concerned, you as one have come out, taken a stand. Very few women politicians have come out and spoken up for Bilkis Bano. Why is that?
It is so unfortunate that not many politicians have come forward and spoken about this, not taken a stance on it. There are many quarters which are quiet about this, and that is what is shameful, because as a political party, staying quiet on crimes against women is the biggest disservice you do to a whole lot of women of this country. On one side, you speak about, you pay lip service to the women of this country that we care for them, but you only care for them because their votes matter to you. The Prime Minister of India speaks from the Red Fort, and he speaks about dignity of women and how women need to be treated as equals in the society. And that very evening, these convicted rapists are let go. So it has been extremely a shameful silence, I would say, from many quarters. And I would hope not just the political parties, but every single person in this country speaks up. Not just the women, but the men and the youth of this country speak up against something as ridiculously shameful as this. And I'm just hoping that the Supreme Court would look at it and Supreme Court would reverse this unfortunate decision.
But Ms. Chaturvedi, the fact is, yes, the BJP needs to come out and take some answers on A, why did the Gujarat government and the central government go against the grain of the recommendations of the CBI and the Sessions Court. But it's not just an issue which is limited to the Bharatiya Janata Party. 80% of political parties today are completely smack-gob silent on what has gone down. Your party has spoken out, but you don't have much skin in the game in the recent coming elections. Understandably, I'm talking about Gujarat. Why do you think there's abject silence from most political parties?
But if you would look at my political party, my own party president has spoken about it at the Shera rally, where he said this is unforgivable, where we do not treat women as equals and we allow convicted rapists to get away scot-free. It's a shameful truth of our society. Lots of regional parties have spoken, national party has spoken, but there are some who have a skin in the game in the Gujarat elections who are choosing to stay quiet about it. And I call their shameful silence hypocritical, because here are people who are, paying lip service to equality for women and empowerment of women. But when it comes to crimes such as these, they stay silent and they reduce the identity of a woman to her religious identity, which is extremely unfortunate.
Ms. Chaturvedi, appreciate you joining us.